Season 4 of Atlanta United takes us to Bradenton, Florida. Five Stripes in action against Swedish outfit Elfsborg. The third preseason match for Frank de Boer's side before they head into CONCACAF Champions League action. How are you, folks? Kevin Egan, thrilled to be alongside Jason Longshore from the broadcast booth. Jason, fascinating game in store again to take a deeper look at what Frank de Boer is doing here ahead of crunch time.
Yeah, it'll be good to finally get a chance to see it. And we go straight into the starting 11 for Atlanta United. 3-4-3 with Fernando Meza stepping in alongside Miles Robinson, Franco Escobar, Edgar Castillo, and Brooks Lennon are your wing backs surrounding Eric Remedi, Emerson Heineman, and the front three, Barco, Pitti, and Joseph Martinez.
Already set to go then from Bradenton. Atlanta United wearing the familiar kits. From left to right to take on the Swedish outfit Elfsborg. Chance to see Pitti Martinez alongside Joseph Martinez and Barco. Three-headed monster in from the start today. And a first opportunity for Atlanta United fans to really check out the team this season. Lots of movement in the off-season. Some new stars ready to shine. Wherever you're watching from, let us know your thoughts. You can tweet at ATLUTD as well as at Longshoot. Correct, Jason?
Correct.
And Kev_Egan. As Franco Escobar takes it and gets it back from Brooks Lennon. Pitti Martinez. Lennon draws the foul.
Quick interplay from Atlanta in the early going. Noticed early they stepped up high. They stepped up and pressed a bit, and then when they play out of trouble, they played very fast down the right side.
So 3 at the back for Frank de Boer to start the season here in preseason. Is this something you expect to see more of throughout the year?
I think so. I think with Escobar and Meza, it really lends itself to it. Barco pulls it back, looked like a chance for Atlanta to break, but these are the opportunities you'll see with Escobar pushed up very high. Both Escobar and Meza are comfortable stepping into the midfield to take what looks like 3 center backs and turn it into 2.
Certainly Remedi, whether it be Eric or Jeff Laurentowicz, whoever's playing in that holding midfield role, well capable of sitting in and helping out defensively as well as Joseph Martinez plays it back. Good chance for fans to really check out this man on the ball right now. Fernando Meza, 29 years of age, coming across from Necaxa. Made his pro debut for San Lorenzo back in 2008. Here's one for you, Jason. It was a 1-0 defeat to Boca Juniors. An injury to his teammate meant he came in after 27 minutes at 18 years of age. They lost 1-0. The goal scorer, I know he's a favorite of yours, Juan Roman Riquelme.
Oh yes, of course. Pitti Martinez earns a free kick for Atlanta. We've already seen Joseph Martinez drop very deep in possession into Atlanta's defensive half. Pitti Martinez dropping deeper. It's incredibly fluid in the early going for Atlanta.
Robinson assesses his options. Straight to the feet of Joseph Martinez. Just can't connect with Pitti. And this offseason, it's a different look completely, isn't it, to the year before. You win MLS Cup on December 9th. You're straight back into the action in your first run at CONCACAF Champions League. Now you finish up the season 41 days earlier on October 30th. A much bigger break, a chance to relax those legs and also work on some fundamentals back with the team again and get more games in preseason.
Yeah, you come back and it was a successful year by a lot of accounts last year with a Campeones Cup, with a Lamar Hunt US Open Cup, but you also came up short in the Eastern Conference semifinal, a match that would have led to MLS Cup being at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So there's a different kind of hunger that you see this season already. We're seeing it in the first 3 minutes here. We've heard about it in the early results in preseason that have been very strong.
But even for someone like Pitti Martinez, you look at his offseason last year, you win the Libertadores away at the Bernabeu in what was the most emotionally draining game maybe in the game's history. And you make a quick move across to Atlanta United, change countries, and in you go. Now he has a chance to rest, and he has a chance to finally really play alongside Barco and Joseph Martinez. They only played together from the start 7 times last season out of 34 games in the regular season.
It was really effective when they were able to pair up, but only 7 times. Shocking, and hope to see a lot more of that combination this year.
Foul in the midfield. Ezequiel Barco drawing the free kick. Edgar Castillo getting the start on the left-hand side. Much competition there this season. Reports of a potential addition there as well, but there is Castillo getting the nod. George Bello here this evening as well.
Take another look at that foul on Barco right here. Comes in through the back of him a bit, gets sandwiched. Foul committed by Nielsen.
Wynn takes a hold of that one. Castillo can't keep it in play.
Quick switch though from Pitti though.
Yeah. That left back slot, lots of competition. We mentioned competition. You have to include Jake Mulroney there, who by all account impressed last time out against Philadelphia. Look at the coaching staff there. Orlando Trustful alongside Bob de Klerk. Frank de Boer's right-hand man. Castillo. Barco. Quick touch back for Castillo. Another foul on Ezequiel Barco.
Used to seeing that.
Yeah. Only 11 starts last season for Ezequiel Barco. Injury, international duty affecting that. Now Pitti Martinez, a bit of space. Brooks Lennon. 1v1. Lennon goes toward the byline. Can't dig out the cross. Goal kick.
Strong defending from Simon Strand, the veteran on the left side. He started 25 times last season for Elfsborg. Got a little competition this season with Rami Kaib turning some heads in preseason, but Strand just shut Lennon down that time.
Rami Kaib, a player that Frank de Boer actually mentioned in the build-up to this game. Just keeping an eye on Elfsborg in their recent match against Nashville. 0-0 draw between the sides. Elfsborg struggling up front, really. Losing the previous match to the US men's national team behind closed doors. Failing to score on that occasion too.
Very direct team, a little bit different type of opponent than Atlanta's seen so far in the preseason with the Red Bulls and their pressing style in game one and Philadelphia's diamond or box midfield in game two that they want to play through. Elfsborg will go over the top.
Escobar so comfortable playing out of the back. Pitti Martinez threads it for Barco. Turn it over in the midfield. Nice step from Hyman. It is a frantic opening to this game. Nice play in midfield by Holman. Escobar has enough pace. Very tall front line there. Berhardsson wearing number 12 for Elfsborg. Big player alongside Carlson and Frick. Playing in a 4-3-3 for Jimmy Talen's team. Hyman aggressive in the challenge. Winning it back, taking the space. Options left and right. Hyman feeds Brooks Lennon. Wonderful delivery for Hyman. Inches away. Tremendous work from Emerson Hyman. And Brooks Lennon, speaking of tremendous work, tenacious in winning the ball back. And there is, as you mentioned, Jason Longshore. Joseph Martinez dropping deep. Barco. Castillo to the left. Finds him. Castillo's low delivery. Straight into the grateful palms of Dingalan.
The speed from Atlanta on this last break with Emerson Hyman recovering it in midfield, starting it. Lennon just missed him inches past Hyman. Trying to keep Elfsborg from getting out of their own half.
You could see Emerson Hyman, that tenacity, as I mentioned, to win the ball back. You wonder, will his role be slightly different this year with no Darlington Nagbe?
The shape is going to be fascinating to see, and how the team adjusts in match, because you have so many players who can mix and match and play different roles and adjust within the match, and it's something Frank de Boer's talked about many times. He wants the players to be able to recognize situations in match and shift. If it has to go to 4 in the back, if it has to go to 4 in the midfield, whatever shifts are needed, he wants the players to decide that themselves.
Eric Rometti has a little word with the referee. talk about the importance of preseason. Eric Rometty found himself on the outside looking in for the last 5 games of the season, 2 regular season and 3 postseason matches. Rometty not getting a start in any of those games. So for a player of his caliber, proving his worth early on here.
Great look from Escobar to pick out Barco.
Barco, Castillo. Barco hovers on the edge of the area. Castillo, second bite at it. Here is Eric Rometty. Pity Martinez, crunching challenge on the edge of the area. And certainly Joseph Okumu will claim he won the ball, but he certainly went through Pity Martinez.
Looks like studs up coming through. We'll see if we can see what our referee saw on that too. Yeah, he shows the studs through it. He did get to the ball. It was a loose touch from Pity Martinez, but that's an aggressive challenge going right through the attacker.
Okumu, a new player for Elfsborg. Superb with Ann Arbor in the NPSL, and then with Real Monarchs before making a record transfer fee from USL across to play in Sweden. Reports at $200,000 for the Kenyan. Now playing at centre back for Elfsborg.
Looks like a yellow card was issued to Okumu for that challenge.
Here we go. Pity Martinez, low delivery, straight into the wall. Atlanta United social media account quick to publish some free kicks of Pity Martinez and Ezequiel Barco yesterday, pinging them in from distance.
Excellent work by Meza.
That's that step you talked about, the intelligence, Jason.
Yeah, that's what we're going to have to see with 2 central midfielders, with Rometty and Heinemann. It's going to have to be Meza and Escobar at times stepping in to support that. That's going to be the trickiest thing for Atlanta United this season when they play in this kind of shape, is who steps into the midfield to help support defensively.
It may seem like such a small thing, but I think the language side of things is very important, and it was interesting to hear Fernando Meza commenting early on, maybe his first interview, saying that he is going to learn English and he should be able to do an interview, I believe he said, after 6 months.
6 months. He's challenging the media to join him in learning Spanish and asking questions in Spanish.
You love to hear that, because Leandro Gonzalez Perez was the ringleader and was the one forcing the Spanish-speaking contingent to learn the language. He said to me before in a chat, we're living in America. It's on us to learn English, not the other way around. Fair play, Fernando Meza, using his experience there, 29 years of age. Slotting inside alongside Miles Robinson and Escobar today. Kazan under pressure. Meza, Robinson, really well done from Atlanta United, under duress.
A little hesitation from Barco to open it up for Escobar. Let's go back to that sequence for a second. They play out of the back. No worry about playing out of the back. Fernando Meza is so composed, using Miles Robinson, using Brad Kazan, and they create an opportunity going on the opposite side with speed. Very, very impressive. Here's another look at it. Meza just so comfortable going back to Kazan. Everyone involved. They're not rushed here, and they're not looking to bomb it forward and give away possession.
Frank de Boer commenting this week, talking about Fernando Meza and how tidy he is on the ball. You don't need to be tall to be a defender. If you think back to some of the greats, and certainly Frank de Boer was one of those players himself. Baresi, Cannavaro. Not over 6 foot as Joseph Martinez wins the ball back. Martinez, heavy touch. Offside flag goes up, though.
A little more pressure up top than we saw at times last year with Pity Martinez and Joseph Martinez. Barco's dropped into the hole behind them just a bit.
And that, a question mark, something you and I discussed a little bit earlier on today, is if you play with Barco and Pity in behind Joseph, are you sacrificing anything defensively? The answer so far in this game is no, because they're putting it in defensively. As we get a shot from distance, blocked. Chance for Brad Kazan to come off his line. And this time, it's not Franco Escobar that he collides with. It's Brooks Lennon.
Lennon heard the stories. He ducked out of that fast.
Turned over by P.T. Martinez. Carlson inside, big time opportunity. As Remedi goes to ground, chance goes awry for Elfsborg.
Thought the flag had come up, it did not. Meza with a huge tackle at the end. That's the problems that can occur when you're a possession team. If you have that giveaway that P.T. Martinez did there, it can lead to a break for the opposition. Good recovery from Meza to bail him out.
Smart pass. P.T. Martinez can't keep it. Into the midfield it goes. Nielsen.
Been a few of those from Escobar today.
Miles Robinson. Hamstring looks okay. Heavy touch again. Wind playing a factor here in the first half. Escobar skips past the challenge. Beautiful pass for Barco. Barco slips the pass through. Joseph Martinez is in. Goalkeeper gets a hand on it. May still be there for P.T. Martinez. Blocked away. And finally cleared. Throw in Atlanta United. Akumu puts it over the line, but that was a beautiful pass from Barco.
And still coming now with possession on the left side. Barco and Pitti and Joseph nearly created a goal-scoring opportunity.
It's so hard to track, isn't it? That run from Joseph Martinez off the shoulder of Akumu.
It's good work by Dingelin, too. And he's beaten on the shot by Pitti Martinez, but it's saved off the line.
Remedi shields the ball, using his body. Pushes Olsen aside. Meza. Hyman. Big switch is on from Remedi. Poor pass in the end.
Scrappy. Very scrappy. Atlanta's trying to get that chemistry, and that's going to be something a lot of people are looking at early going for Atlanta United, is how do those little societies on the field come together? How does that front three of Barco, Pitti, Joseph, how does the chemistry come with them? And how does the chemistry come with the back three? With Robinson, with Escobar, with Meza.
Pitbull in midfield, Eric Remedi doing his job. Always gets from flank to flank, so quick to support the fullback.
See, I like pit bulls, but we've generally gone with the bulldog for Eric Remedi. I might be a little biased, you know. But the bulldog from Bonfield, Eric Remedi.
Love it. Castillo. Joseph Martinez, beautiful turn.
That's a great tackle from Akumu, though.
Superb tackle. Big 6'4" defender going to ground brilliantly.
Moments like that are very important. Emerson Hyndman recognizing that Castillo had stepped forward, recognizing that he needed to shut that down on the left side, drifts over wide and contains the attack. Those moments of recognition are going to be key for this team in 2020.
Looking there. Jesper Karlsson, Bragizan didn't even have to move. player that I'm sure we'll see in this position, right-sided centre-back or as that wing-back, bundles of energy.
I think you'll see him look like a wing-back at times from center-back. Go back to that last attack that Barco and Pitti and Joseph created a chance. It was Escobar who was trucking down the middle of the field who created an opportunity.
Nice ball inside, big-time opportunity, and what a tackle. Using his body as a shield, Emerson Hyman to the rescue. There's a side to Emerson Hyman we're seeing early on in this game. He was much higher up the field last year, and he was asked by Frank de Boer at times to stay high. Let the game come to you, was the message from Frank de Boer. Whereas early on, he's in a much deeper role as Elfsborg may have a chance to get a shot off. Carlson offloads. The cross. Overcooked slightly. Out of play.
Let's go back to Hyndman real quick. He played in a deeper role at times when he was on loan from Bournemouth. Showed a little bit of a deeper role when he first went to England with Fulham. Definitely played deeper at Rangers during his time there. He has that in him, I think, to be that deep-lying central midfielder. Use his ability to pass and pick out a pass, but he can defend as well.
Started 17 games in Major League Soccer play. Played in 17, starting 11, Emerson Hyman. Since coming in, certainly did become a favorite of Frank de Boer. As you could see, that very disciplined tactically. He scored 3 goals, all 3 very big goals too. San Jose at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in MLS play. In the Campeones Cup, he got that crazy game off and running after 5 minutes. And then the US Open Cup semi-final away against Orlando. Certainly you look at a player like Emerson Hyman, you look at Brooks Lennon, touted as becoming stars for the US men's national team in time. Both didn't continue on that trajectory, and now at a club like Atlanta United, given that license and given that opportunity to really flourish.
Sivert Nielsen breaks up that
Beautiful ball
opportunity.
inside. Offside flag goes up. Certainly Elfsborg finding gaps.
It's gotten physical, and that's good. That's what Atlanta needs. Elfsborg's been going a little bit longer than Atlanta in preseason. It's a tricky season in Sweden where their league play doesn't actually start until April, but they have a cup that starts at the end of February. They've had more matches than Atlanta United showing right now.
Crisp pass from Pitti Martinez to Hyman.
These matches with an international opponent have a little more bite to them as well. It's one thing to play Philadelphia or the Red Bulls. Elfsborg's trying to make a name for themselves here. Get another look at how Elfsborg nearly created a goal here. The offside on the back heel, but what a decision from Carlson.
Yeah.
He's a player who has stood out for them. 8 goals, 4 assists last season. Couple highlight reel goals from distance. One of their top young talents.
And you say young, this is an extremely young Elfsborg team. Samuel Holman in midfield is 35, and he's nearly like a player coach out there. We joked and said the Jeff Laurentowicz of Elfsborg.
Good recognition from Barco. Yeah, it came off the arm. But I love how Barco steps away that time, doesn't try to win the ball out of the air, steps into the passing lane, creates the opportunity. I think a lot of times we get hung up on defending. You have to get stuck in, you have to be physical. With Atlanta's size, at times where they can read the game well, they're going to be able to jump into a passing lane and start a break that way.
Guzan, perfectly weighted pass, bounces off the chest to Pitti Martinez. Sloppy from Pitti Martinez, referee plays advantage. Carlson delivers. Another decent opportunity. Elfsborg threatening, and finding those gaps. This time it's Per Frick.
Smart from Guzan to take his time here. Calm it down a little bit. We see now the new goal kick rules are in effect for Atlanta United. You don't have to play it outside of the 18 anymore. I think Atlanta will be a team that will play short quite often.
Another free kick then. Goes Elfsborg's way. Talk about the season Brad Guzan had last year. Best record in Major League Soccer defending set pieces. Most clean sheets, as we see a few handbags between Escobar and a couple of Elfsborg players.
No surprise that it's Franco Escobar to see our first yellow today. For Atlanta, anyway.
I think Guzan is telling the referee, come on, no need for the yellow cards now, is there?
I don't know.
25 minutes into a friendly.
I don't know. Have you seen the first 25 minutes? It's getting pretty physical.
It's good, though. It's preseason.
It is good. This is the kind of the matchup they need, because this is the type of match that elevates it just from a feel like a scrimmage. Watch out for Carlson here on distance. He's going for goal here.
Oh, he's rolled up the shorts. Down they go again. He means business. Jesper Carlson bounces in front of Guzan. So strong. Guzan secure. Immediately he feeds Eric Rometti. Wearing number 5 this season. Beautiful pass. Splitting the lines for Pity Martinez. Barco back for Pity. The step, very effective indeed. Nice defending there.
Meza with a long run to try to give an option. Castillo elects not to go there, finds Pity instead.
Carlson looking to break in behind. He's got pace. Guzan, as I was mentioning, best record from set pieces. Atlanta United, just 3 goals conceded. Most clean sheets in the league with 16, including the playoffs. At 35, Brad Guzan may have just enjoyed the best season of his career.
Does not look to be slowing down at all.
He didn't miss 1 training session last year. That says something. Usually something comes up throughout the year where you have to miss a training session.
Sets the example.
Yeah.
And this is a club, you think back to the offseason, you saw these guys come back into Atlanta sooner than they had to, many of them, and start training at the facility on their own. Start physical preparation on their own. It's things like Brad Guzan not missing a training session during the season. That's the expectation.
Massive pressure, high press there from Elfsborg. Atlanta United play out, Barco chopped down. It's that sort of playing out of the back that are going to offer a few heart attacks back in Atlanta for the fans watching.
It will, but those are the things that can open a game up. If this foul's not committed, Barco can take off down the right side and Atlanta's broken out. You want to draw the opposition in. It's a very confident way of playing because you feel that you are technically strong enough to play through the opposition's pressure.
It's always a sight to behold. Barco at pace. Again brought to ground.
Flipped again from behind.
Kick. Yeah. Yellow card issue then.
Barco has that change of pace where it's subtle. It doesn't look like he hits another gear, but he finds just enough of a difference. He just gets grabbed.
So yellow card then for Simon Olsen. It's the fact that he keeps the ball so close to his body as well. Forces that contact. And now it will be Ezequiel Barco to take.
He's the classic Argentine enganche, that kind of, the hook that everything revolves around for Atlanta United. In this role where he's behind Pity and Joseph, it's vital.
Barco bends, dips off the woodwork. Fantastic connection from Barco. Certainly had Dinglin scrambling.
Did not miss by much. Wasn't able to bring it down under the bar. I don't think Dinglin is there to get the hand on it if it's down a little lower.
Certainly in his first year in 2018, when Barco would ask to take a free kick, seniority came in at times. Certain guys would say, hang on, Ezequiel, your time will come. Last year, similar story. Usually Pity Martinez would want to take it. Barco's stepping up though, and every time he stands over the ball, Jason, I don't know about you, I'm thinking this one is absolutely going to trouble the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Ezequiel Barco is just growing in confidence every time we see him right now. It's a great ball from Kazan.
Fernando Meza. Now Castillo. One of two players to play senior international action for both Mexico and the US. Jason Longshore, encyclopedia of the game. Can you name the other that played for both Mexico and the US?
Yeah, you're going back. I think the Mexico appearance was in the early 90s, and the U.S. appearance was after that, after he came to MLS, Martin Vasquez.
Very good, Jason Longshore.
You know, I know some trivia.
If you have any trivia and you want to test Jason, tweet us at Kevin_Egan.
Oh, no.
Let's go. Let's be having you.
I'm going to turn notifications off of my phone now.
Atlanta United turn it over. Down the line it goes. Low delivery. Teasing ball.
Good defensive work from Robinson.
Per Frick, yeah, in that battle with Miles Robinson. I spoke to him just a few weeks ago about that hamstring injury. Remember last season, folks, how devastating it was. Miles Robinson had featured in all 34 games, starting 33 in the regular season. He goes away with the national team, gets injured in a warm-down, and misses the postseason. It's good to see Miles Robinson back fit and healthy for preseason.
He has a tough challenge right here defending Okumu on this corner.
The delivery looking for Okumu, goes all the way through. Really good strike, great connection in the end from Bernhardsson. Bernhardsson gets it again. Escobar goes to ground, and between both he and Hyman, they win it back, and the offside flag, I believe, went up against Bernhardsson.
Risky from Franco Escobar going to ground there. Remedi goes for the back heel in a bad spot, doesn't come off. He knows he has numbers behind him, but it's good passing from Elfsborg, just a little early on the run.
Elfsborg, a 6-time Swedish champion. Their last league title came back in 2012, the previous before that, 2006. And after those league wins, they ventured into the Champions League, had to go through the qualifying rounds, and they were really unlucky, facing Valencia in 06 and losing, as Hyman plays it through for Joseph Martinez. We'll get back to that. Okumu, using his power and strength, plays it back to his goalkeeper.
That ability through the middle by Atlanta, though, when they can break into space. What we've noticed so far in his first 33 minutes for Atlanta is wherever the space is, they can break into it with speed. If it's out wide, Brooksland and Edgar Castillo can take advantage of that. But through the middle, if it's not pace, it's the ability to play fast with Remedi, with Heinemann, with Barco, with Pitti, all very technical players.
There's been many moves. The squad has absolutely gotten younger in a lot of areas, and in most cases faster.
Speed is going to be something we talk about a lot this season, but it's going to take on different forms. It's not always just pure sprinter speed.
Well, it's Barco, as you mentioned. He's a good example of that. In those tight spaces, so quick to turn, and that burst of acceleration. Whereas I think if you were racing over 100 meters, 100 yards, it's Miles Robinson or Escobar. Most likely Miles. Although
that'd be a good one.
The guy's saying Brooks Lennon is extremely quick
yes.
over long distance.
Yeah, Lennon's pace is going to give Atlanta a different element down the right side this year.
Remedi. Pity Martinez. Kumu away. The sights and sounds of Bradenton, Florida. One real positive of not really having a crowd at the game at all is you can hear the coaches, the instructions from the sideline. Castillo brought down, free kick. Edgar Castillo. He suffered a bad injury last season, performed really well for New England. First 20 games, consistent starter for 20 games. Then 2 broken ribs and a punctured lung when New England were taking on the New York Red Bulls back in August. Ruled him out for the rest of the season. Keep him fit. Could be an extremely shrewd pickle.
He was outstanding for Colorado in 2018. I think if he had been in a better team, he would have been in consideration for the best 11. He was that good. And he went to New England, and they expected a lot more from him. That injury derailed him a little bit.
Kumu away. Lennon for Escobar. Atlanta United so quick. And you often think back to Barcelona and Pep Guardiola when he was in charge, and that rule of trying to win the ball back within 5 or 6 seconds after you lose it, if not retreat a little bit. A few signs of that here so far with Atlanta United.
Yeah, I think it's easy at times to forget about all of the correlation between Barcelona and Ajax. And Frank de Boer, for example, played at both clubs. Great from Joseph Martinez there. You're seeing that scrappiness up front again, another takeaway.
Excellent. P.T. Martinez, Joseph, and Barco.
Look how high Escobar is playing up in to support the attack. He's just, you see when he steps forward, it's Robinson and Meza who slide over to become a center back duo. Meza will do that on the left side when the possession is on that side. It's incredibly fluid positionally for Atlanta United.
This one will stay in play. You were making the point earlier. Correlation, Barcelona, Ajax, Frank de Boer.
You have all those threads that go through both clubs. I mean, Johan Cruyff, Louis van Gaal, both managers that have been mentors in different ways to Frank de Boer. Very different in some ways, but they have commonality between it, and a lot of it is being able to press, cherishing the ball, wanting to play in possession as much as possible, but when you lose it, wanting to win it back as quickly as possible. It's a secondary part of your tactic, but you want to win that ball back to keep it then. It's all about having the ball.
th minute already in this contest then. Corner kick for Elfsborg. Whipped in, Joseph Martinez. Edge of the 6. So used to seeing Joseph in that area defending corners. Well done, Franco Escobar. And that's where this preseason becomes even more important for Frank de Boer. Didn't really get that last year. Such a tight turnaround, all of a sudden playing in a new competition, in new countries. A whole new scene for Atlanta United. Now you're working with a smaller group, Jason, and you actually think that could benefit him?
Yeah, I think it allows you to drill in a little bit deeper with a smaller number of players. It's something that a lot of top managers have talked about. When you get these kind of bloated squads of 30 to 35 players in Europe, it's hard to get tactically astute with all of them. It's hard to get those reps. With a squad of 22 to 24, you're able to do more and I think go a little bit deeper.
Joseph Martinez again looking to combine. Brooks Lennon pulls it back. The predator that is Joseph Martinez again inches away. Excellent delivery, I believe, from P.T. Martinez.
Yes, Lennon could have been a little more selfish there on the back post and went for goal himself.
That's the reputation of Joseph Martinez from afar, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's understandable.
Barco surveying the scene. Remedi. Escobar for Miles.
Really liking what we're seeing in Mesa so far. Just so composed on the ball.
Deflected cross. Joseph Martinez. Off it goes for Remedi. Snapshot. Little daisy cutter that drifts wide. We talked a little bit earlier on about the language difficulty, but sometimes the game of soccer has its own language. And that seems to be the case with Miles Robinson, who doesn't speak, I don't believe he speaks too much Spanish.
Don't think so.
And you've got Mesa, who doesn't speak English on one side, Escobar, who doesn't speak English on the other. It's not easy.
It's not, but this is something that Frank de Boer's talked about so far in preseason. He wants to get the defensive side right first. It's all about building that base. He hasn't really focused as much on the attack just yet because he wants that chemistry with those three to come together. Wouldn't be surprised if we see those three play the whole 90 minutes today if possible. The language is the issue. You get through that by playing minutes together.
Mid-January, Franco Escobar who just clears it out of play alongside Eric Remedi and Ezequiel Barco picking up U.S. residency. A massive move for Atlanta United. No longer international players. Such an underrated move.
Huge addition with MLS roster rules because now you have international slots to burn and you can bring in players, and we've seen the same rumors that all of you out there have seen, but those slots can also be valuable in and of themselves. If you don't have players come in, you can trade those to bring in more allocation money. It might allow you to get, you know, a different caliber of player coming in. It might allow you to buy something else down, create some more cap room.
Beautiful touch from Ezequiel Barco. Remedi this time fell. Our hard-working team, Elfsborg, under the guidance of Jimmy Talon, 41 years of age. Was just 39 when he took over. He did so well. Jay Sodra really did get promoted, taking over from Magnus Haglund.
Elfsborg is a team that's trying to get into that next level in Sweden. They were right in the middle of the table last year. And with the growth of the Swedish league, getting higher up the table, getting into some European spots, it's not out of the realm of possibility for this club.
Chance for Pity Martinez to turn. Has the vision to pick out Brooks Lennon. Sensational ball from Pity Martinez. Lennon's delivery low, cut off by Akumu, who's having himself a day at the back. He's been brilliant, the Kenyan.
Cross not good enough from Lennon, but this pass from Pity Martinez. Sometimes the pass creates the run. That pass is played into a spot that Brooks Lennon has to make that run. That's the connections that'll start to form. Barco plowed from behind again. This time it's Nielsen. It's been a rotating cast of characters kicking Barco from behind.
Reminds me of when Espanyol play against Barcelona and they take turns picking up yellow cards on Messi.
Mm-hmm. It's part of the strategy. And Barco draws that kind of attention. He's so dangerous on the ball. And he's so good at holding it to draw that contact at times.
Still only 20 years of age, Ezequiel Barco.
Such a special, special player.
Former Independiente man will take it. Robinson, Meza, Martinez, Escobar, all inside the area. Barco whips. This one goes out for a goal kick.
Looking for Escobar in the back post, a little too much for him. Franco Escobar is a nice target on set pieces. It's something that we saw a good bit in 2018. Didn't see quite as much of it last year. I think it's easy with Joseph's goal-scoring ability, with Miles Robinson's leaping ability, to think those are the two targets. Escobar's very underrated in the air.
Has he scored a header? I'm putting you on the spot.
I don't think he has.
I think he's just scored goals from his feet.
He's been
mostly in the playoffs.
That target at times on the back post.
Robinson back for Guzan.
I will make a bold prediction that Franco Escobar scores a goal from his head this season.
Well, that's not very bold, considering that most people won't remember you said it here in a preseason game and a live stream.
I know you'll tweet about it if it happens or if it doesn't.
You're telling me when we get to MLS Cup, Atlanta United win it in 2020. First thing I'm going to do afterwards is tweet and say, ha ha.
I know you too well. You probably will.
Free kick Elfsborg. Stoppage time at the end of the first 45. Escobar pleads his innocence.
That's the challenge for a referee in these matches, because you have to use the cards to kind of dial things down at times, but you don't want to send anybody off. You don't want to show a second yellow. So guys pick up that yellow and know they can kind of get away with anything at that point.
Pity Martinez walks away. One of 5 Argentines in the starting 11 today for Atlanta United. Guzan off his line. And that will bring an end to the first half in Bradenton. 0-0 the score. Doesn't really reflect the action though. It's been very enjoyable. It's been tough, Jason Longshore. Lots of robust tackles, but a lot to really dissect from Atlanta United's point of view.
Yeah, it's been disjointed. It's been preseason. It's kind of what we expected. Some good things, some bad. We'll get into it here in a few minutes. Let us know what you're thinking out there. Tweet at us at Longshoe, at Kev_Egan, at ATLUTD. We'll get to that and some highlights after this.
Yeah, stick with us, folks.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. I enjoyed it. I love soccer. He's asking about stuff, and I don't have any idea what he's talking about. Yeah. He's asking. He said you got a photograph with a sign saying how many times they got mad. Somebody comes in and out. It's got the numbers.
You're very welcome back, folks. The clouds parting a little bit, some blue skies in Bradenton, Florida. Atlanta United, Elfsborg. The deadlock has yet to be broken. Interesting first 45 minutes. As we'll take a quick look back now at some of the best action from that first 45. First chance for you to see your five stripes in action in pre-season. Strike from distance. Brad Kazan out strong off his line. Little shout to Brooks Lennon. Kevin Egan alongside Jason Longshore. We'll get to some of your comments coming through in just a moment. But some of this play at times, Atlanta United with that intricate movement, very impressive. At times, they can turn the ball over in costly areas.
Yeah, those are the moments that Frank de Boer is going to have some problems with and be talking to the team about right now when you create these types of opportunities. Atlanta's handled them pretty well recovering. The back lines look good, but you need to limit those.
This may be the best opportunity of the match so far for Atlanta United. Slip pass from Barco. Joseph Martinez maybe wanted that extra touch.
Yeah, Christopher McVeigh clears it off the line. Good defensive work from Danglin coming off his line. And it's McVeigh, the right back, drifting over to clear that off.
Elfsborg again. Out it goes to Carlson. Low delivery. Frick, not too far away from combining.
Carlson stood out to me from Elfsborg. Dangerous player, can drift out to the left. He's got a good shot from distance. Got a little bit of swagger, too. Barco's been drawing fouls everywhere. And an underrated part of that is Joseph cleaning Olsen out after he fouled Barco. Playing a little bit of the enforcer role.
This, so close to an opening goal. Barco off the woodwork. We're going to get to some of your comments after this quick commercial break. 0-0 from Bradenton. Welcome back, folks. I hope you had your cup of tea, bit of coffee, whatever you're having at the break. Atlanta United 0, Elfsborg 0. Kevin Egan, thrilled to be alongside Jason Longshore. We've asked for your questions, your comments at the half. Some good ones coming through here. Daniel Price says, good first half. Barco looking deadly and will be a surefire boon. I had to ask Jason what boon means for us this season. Pity looks much more comfortable, and I really enjoy Meza thus far.
Yeah, the front three, I mean, we've seen flashes of brilliance, and that's to be expected. You're still building that chemistry. There's been a few times where it's been disjointed. I like Meza as well. Meza's really stood out to me, his calmness under pressure.
Doug Shipman commenting here. Looks like Atlanta United playing some pretty quick ball in the middle. Good speed of the ball, the movements, some good combinations already among the new players. Shiva says, defense looks good. Attack needs some work and more creativity. Jeff Plucker, good first half. Need to see Castillo take advantage of space on the left wing. Possession has purpose. Defense has been mostly good. Team speed is showing.
Yeah, Castillo and Lennon both haven't been able to take full advantage of that space out wide enough. It's something that you have to do that to take some pressure off of Barco and Pitti through the middle. But possession with purpose, that's what it's felt like to me. They're not just using possession to slow the game down. It's possession to try to create space in other parts of the field.
Joe Laszlo, looks like we're getting picked apart in the back. We're fortunate to be scoreless.
I don't think it's picked apart per se. I would say it's more of where these mistakes are happening, where the turnovers are happening. They're getting exposed. And that's always the risk when you're going to play possession. When numbers start to go forward, you can't have that turnover. It was something that Frank de Boer mentioned many times last year when it came to Pitti Martinez.
Scott says sporadic and disjointed first half. Cody McFarlane then says, I'm liking what I'm seeing. It is more similar to Frank de Boer's Ajax style. Still not quite there, obviously. Still pre-season, but I like it. James Norris, this possession style play is like watching paint dry, James. Wow, James.
James.
With the dig, I like it. Going in saucy there in pre-season.
It's early, guys.
Roger says, I didn't know anything about Brooks Lennon prior to today, but I'm loving his hustle thus far. Great to see the gang back together, says the Five Stripes. Michael Holcomb, can you guys give us some info on our opponent? Tuned in about halfway through the first half, and I'd love to do more. Well, what are you tuning in halfway through the first half for, Michael Holcomb? Come on, 5 o'clock the game started. Welcome back, we're underway, second half. Kev Egan alongside Jason Longshore. Brooks Lennon with the hit, blocked away, and that will be a throw-in for Atlanta United. Michael, Atlanta United are playing Elfsborg, finished 8th in the Swedish league last season, 6-time champions in Sweden, and they themselves have an awful lot to play for this coming year. I will say that there has been a new TV deal over in Sweden, Discovery buying the rights, and it's a booming product right now. Higher attendances, watching the games, and both in the stadium as well. The interest apparently in Sweden is as high as it's been in a few decades, so that's great to hear.
It's a big season for Jimmy Thalen, the manager of Elfsborg. He hasn't had the success that I think they're looking for with the interest, with the stands full, with new TV. I think there's more pressure that comes with that. So this is a team that came over to Bradenton, played Nashville on Thursday, was scoreless, played the U.S. men's national team in a behind-closed-doors friendly, lost 2-0, played a preseason match in Sweden before coming to Bradenton. It's a busy schedule for them as they have a lot of expectation this year.
I need to mention one other tweet before we wrap up that little segment. Daniel Price, congratulations, a gorgeous picture of what I'm assuming is your young daughter. Looks only a few weeks old. The littlest of fans is enjoying the match thus far, says Daniel. I think she has a thing for Joseph, but who doesn't? That sounds about right.
Definitely sounds about right. Might be our youngest viewer today. We do have a couple changes. Alec Can is in goal for Atlanta United, and Jake Mulroney with a first touch, just escaping down the left.
What about that for a first touch? Jake Mulroney offloading for Barco. Had a chance to shoot. Feeds Pitti instead, who wants it. Goes for that near corner. Goal kick, Elfsborg.
What a pullback by Pitti to create the space with the left foot. The confidence to do that in the tight space. Barco delivers, cuts it back around the defender who's trying to get back into position, uses him as a screen, just can't find the inside of the post. Big tackle from Mulroney.
That's a confident first touch. The man coming across from Hearts. Just 6 months ago, he signed a 3-year deal with the Scottish side.
That's what you love to see from a player coming in at halftime in a match like this. First touch, creates an attack one way, comes in with a big tackle the other way.
Meza to Hyman. Mulroney gets it back. Taken down, free kick, Atlanta United.
When you make that impact straight away, you get noticed and players start to deny your opportunity to break. Just shoved down that time.
He left Hearts mid-season, remember, so fitness shouldn't really be an issue for Jake Mulroney.
Had some changes for Elfsborg as well. We'll try to get those as best we can. Frederick Holst committed that foul. Coming it right back.
Meza, powerful header. Turnover. Joseph Martinez. Off it goes, looking for Barco. In on goal, Ezequiel Barco! Side netting.
Joseph Martinez playing provider here, but it's the pressure again, causes the turnover. Perfectly weighted ball from Joseph Martinez. Barco just can't beat the keeper and the post.
Surprised Barco didn't go first time with that right foot and go far post. Loves to go far post, and especially on the right. But remember, his first ever goal for Atlanta United was with his left foot.
Loves to draw the keeper in and beat the keeper at that stage. Dengelen stayed big as long as he could. Cut down the options for Barco. It's a good test for Alec Can because it's a little bit different style of play than we've seen Atlanta play with Can in there. He's going to have to be strong in possession, make the right decisions passing here.
One for Miles Robinson to deal with, still there for Elfsborg. Swedish club looking to score their first goal while in Bradenton.
We don't have official stats, but I think Barco's been fouled at least 7 or 8 times today.
I was going to say 17 or 1800.
Mulroney scrapping down the left.
I mentioned certain quick players, Mulroney being one of them, Brooks Lennon I mentioned too, but I did get contacted at halftime by Miles Robinson's cousin, Keith Robinson, and he said, come on, Kev, Miles isn't losing a 100-meter race to anybody on that roster.
Well, I don't think we said 100 meters. It depends on the length. If it's 40, I don't know. Escobar might be there with him. And we'll see about Mulroney. We don't have a judge on his speed just yet.
I think if it's 40, I'm still going Miles.
If it's 40, I might go Franco. Sorry, Keith.
Mulroney needs options. Now, if this isn't a preseason friendly, the referee's blown his whistle at that stage. Good tenacity and pressure there from Elfsborg. Limited options for Mulroney. Oh, beautiful header. Martinez picks out the pass.
What a
for
ball
Brooks
from
Lennon.
Joseph.
Lennon wants it first time, looking for Joseph Martinez. Sensational 1-2 between Joseph and Brooks Lennon. What a goal that would have been.
The most long range of 1-2s you will ever see. Joseph off a half volley out to Lennon, who puts in the long cross around the back line. We'll take another look at that when we get an opportunity.
Martinez pushed in the back. Play on with Barco. Cross is a good one. Looks for Pity Martinez, who wants a penalty kick.
Looked like Pitti was armbarred down. had a hold of his left arm. I think VAR might be taking a look. They're not here today. They're working on their preseason elsewhere. What a ball from Lennon. Joseph just not quite able to get over top of it. Here's what VAR would be looking at.
Is that a penalty?
It's pretty close.
Get off the fence, Jason. Is it a penalty?
Well, if it's called on the field, okay, I don't think VAR's overturning it. I don't know if there's enough there for the video assistant referee to buzz the referee.
Fair answer.
It's a tough one. I might be a little biased. I would have called it.
Barco in space. Jake Mulroney. Low delivery from Mulroney. Seemed to impress in the match recently against Philadelphia as well, as Meza does so well to keep it in play.
Walking the tightrope there, Meza. Chests it down, plays it back to Robinson.
Barco in those half spaces. He's so effective. Barco. Diggleland collects with relative ease.
Lennon had pinched inside. He wanted that through ball down the right. Suffocating defense from Atlanta right now.
Pity Martinez on his right boot this time. Pity Martinez! There's the deadlock broken. And this time it comes from the right foot of the Argentine. 1-0 Atlanta United.
It's all from the defense, though. This is all from the defense, because how many times did Elfsborg get an opportunity to get out of their half? 3 or 4. Atlanta kept winning it back, and when you keep giving Pity Martinez, Ezequiel Barco, Joseph Martinez 1v1 opportunities, they're going to beat you. He gets Okumu going the wrong way, cuts back to the right foot. No chance for Dingeland.
Make it 3 goals then. In the last game and a half or so for Pity Martinez, 2 against Philadelphia. And this is the sort of preseason you want to see if you're an Atlanta United fan from Pity Martinez.
That's a goal that Frank de Boer is going to be ecstatic with, because it all started with the defensive effort. They suffocated Elfsborg, would not let them out of the half. Go back to Meza walking the tightrope on the touchline, keeping possession. Things like that, you just overwhelm an opponent. And you create the breakdown, and Pity Martinez takes advantage.
Alec Khan, Decatur native. Desperate for a bit of playing time, Alec Khan. Not easy when you're playing in behind Brad Guzan. Back by Lennon. Oh, Olay. Barco with the footwork. Wants it and gets it.
He just keeps drifting into that half space between the lines. You see teams at times, the metronome feels like the number 6 or the number 5 here in Argentina. Today for Atlanta, it feels like it's Barco. It feels like everything is revolving around him.
It's a part of Miles Robinson's game that's improved incredibly well, isn't it? Just playing out of the back, his comfortable nature on the ball.
This is just teasing Elfsborg right now. This is drawing them out, working side to side. This is a bit of a training exercise within a match, because it's something you want to be able to do. Obviously, in a competitive match, you might bomb forward a little bit more. You might want to risk less, but you're trying to work through these things now and build that confidence. Robinson getting those touches, playing through trouble. Escobar and Meza starting to find those combinations. Really good start to the second half for Atlanta.
Nice acceleration from Pitti. Joseph Martinez lets the ball run through. Little shake of the hips. Out to Mulroney it goes.
It's got to be a little quicker from Mulroney there. Didn't look like he was sure of where he wanted to go with it when the ball came out to him. He had acres of space.
Strawn very careful as well. Didn't want to dive in on Jake Mulroney. So a few lollipops, a few step overs from Mulroney in the highlight package.
He's demonstrated that speed early too, and you don't want to take that step in and get beat.
Pitti Martinez. Barco.
It's by design. Let's see what Atlanta does with us.
Barco scoops it. Pitti. Thought it nearly sat up perfectly for Pitti with the outside of the boot just to smash that.
I actually love that idea though. It's Pitti taking a corner all the way to the other touchline to Barco, a very technical player, trying to draw everybody to that side to play Pitti on the back post. It's an interesting corner opportunity. I think we'll see more of that.
Elfsborg turn to play out of the back. Akumu. Offloads. Lennon chases, as does Pitti Martinez.
Those are the moments of awareness, though. It was Emerson Heineman who had stepped up high to pressure Dingeland. So Akumu, center back for Elfsborg, drives forward into that space.
Ball will stay in play. Just about the up and under. And for Atlanta United to deal with. Corner kick Elfsborg here in the 60th minute.
We're going to see a change in the back for Atlanta. George Campbell preparing to come in. New homegrown signing.
George Campbell. What a physical presence he is. Just 18 years of age. Came through the Georgia United system and then the Atlanta United Academy when it launched in 2016.
Great success story for Atlanta United's academy because he was not perceived as a player who would be getting this opportunity as quickly.
But in speaking with Stephen Glass, ATL UTD coach, a little earlier today, he said he continues to excel. It's great that he's got a guy like Miles ahead of him that has proven that you can learn, you can grow, and you can play in that position at the highest level. And now George Campbell has someone like Miles to go play alongside today. But I have to say, Jason, every time I see George Campbell play, I'm blown away by his potential.
He reminds me a lot of Miles. That's a great comparison. Campbell last year for Atlanta United too just kept getting minutes because he kept getting better every time on the field.
Opportunity Elfsborg threatening. Carlson back inside, well played, Alec Khan.
It's another case where Atlanta's trying to play through the back. They're determined today to work on this. Remember, this game does not count for anything, so you're trying to work on things. So you're going to force it, and they forced it at times, and it hasn't come off. But this is where you learn how much you can force when you get into competitive matches. When you get to Motagua in Honduras, who's going to play a very scrappy physical game like this, you have to know how much you can try.
Remedi can't find Joseph Martinez. Plenty of space now for Carlson. Whips it, Miles Robinson. Great positioning. It's still there though. Well done, Eric Remedi. Body is a shield. Now to play it goes. Much better from Elfsborg.
They've been better here after the goal. Atlanta's been a little shaky after the goal. Now we're going to start to see changes, and you're going to start to see things get a little unbalanced at times. What a touch from Barco. I don't think Mulroney expected it.
Lofted ball, one for Campbell to deal with. It's still there. Atlanta United need to weather this as Elfsborg coming on strong. This will be a free kick to the Swedish side.
I think it was Campbell with that key block on the shot from the top of the 18. Carlson likes the shot from distance. This might be a little out of his range.
Never troubling Alec Khan. Always rising from Jesper Karlsson. I mentioned Alec Khan and the difficulty of playing in behind a guy like Brad Guzan. A reminder that this is a guy who played back in 2017, started in 18 games for Atlanta United. He brought Atlanta United into Major League Soccer as the starting goalkeeper. Was incredibly consistent, Decatur native. He's been so solid for the club, and when you talk to people behind the scenes, it's Alec Khan that really pushes Brad Guzan and vice versa. Brendan Moore is in the mix now as well. Healthy competition. Corner kick, Atlanta United.
That's great work fast through the middle after the long goal kick from Can. They didn't win the initial ball after the header from Joseph, but they fought back, won it, and then attacked quickly to create the cross.
Atlanta United take it quickly. Barco. Space inside for Meza. Whipped by Mulroney. Away by Akumu.
That's the thing about Meza, is he gives you a little bit different element on these set pieces. Not quite as much size, but he's very comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's played a lot as a holding midfielder.
It certainly is a feature of this team. You bring in a guy like Anton Walks, a guy who's played for Portsmouth in different positions. Meza, as you mentioned, can play in different roles. Jake Mulroney can play in many different roles. Adaptability has to be a feature for Frank de Boer.
It has to be. I mean, Emerson Heineman can play anywhere in the midfield, and you create another turnover quickly. Pitti nearly created a chance for Barco. But you have to be able to play in a multitude of roles and be able to change within the match. That's going to be the key in 2020, I think, from Atlanta United. You have to be able to adjust inside the match to what that specific match is calling for.
Exactly right, Jason. You can talk about systems all day long. We love to talk about whether it's a 3-5-2, 4-4-2, whatever it is. Games change.
Oh, what a ball.
Outstanding switch. Lofted cross. Space at the back post. And it's there. Wonderful finish. Jesper Karlsson, the man that tucks it away. 1-1 with about 25 minutes to play.
And that versatility and that flexibility can at times break down like this, where you see Brooks Lennon trying to recover and defend. Can't get there to cut this cross out. It's deep to the back post. Meza's trying to recover. Campbell's trying to recover. Robinson was pushed up high as well. It all fell apart defensively for Atlanta in this one. That's a great finish from Jesper Karlsson. I believe it was Simon Strand with the cross on the left side. Confident finish from Karlsson, 1-1.
And this will do them wonders, and their coach, Jimmy Thalen, because, as I mentioned, struggling to score goals, yet to register in Bradenton. And they head back after this game. So to get on the score sheet, now they'll surely want to go after a big win against the 2018 MLS champions. There's Meza inside his own area, playing with Khan. Campbell, goal kick Atlanta.
just like it was for Robinson. Campbell on the ball, playing in these situations. That's the element of his game that has to grow. Have to make quick decisions and have the technique to be able to play fast if you're going to play in this manner.
In speaking with Stephen Glass about George Campbell, he said to me the one thing that stands out for a player so young is he's so calm on the ball. He's a player you've seen an awful lot, obviously, Jason, commentating for the twos. Late challenge there, stood going in. Emerson Hyman goes into the referee's book.
Take another look at what earned Hyman a yellow card. It's just a little sloppy, gets away from him, goes in recklessly. Amazing. Good defending from Mulroney on Carlson.
Turnover from P.T. Martinez.
It's already out for a throw before any foul would have been committed.
Would anything concern you about the last 15, 20 minutes of play?
Fitness, I mean, and that's what you would expect here. It's just gotten a little more disjointed and shaky, and this is your third game in a week, and it's the first time you've done that. It adds up, and it's looked like after the goal, Elfsborg has kind of found another gear, and Atlanta hasn't been able to get into a second gear. That's probably foul 25 on Barco today. And it's Marok Indione who came on as a substitute. He commits the foul.
It's one trait I do admire about Barco. He gets fouled, he may stay down for a second, gets back up, and he wants to nearly get fouled again. He'll then antagonize. And watch him here.
Oh, he takes that move to the right specifically, knowing he's going to get whacked. Good test for Atlanta United today. These are the matches that are going to help prepare you for Motagua, prepare you for Nashville and MLS play coming up here later this month.
So a match next Saturday against Birmingham Legion. Yourself, Mike Conti, will be on the call for that one on radio, correct?
Yes, we will be on 92.9 The Game. And listen on radio, also at radio.com or the Atlanta United app.
Then after that, Atlanta United head to Guadalajara for a few days before heading back and preparing for that game in Western Honduras against Motagua. Audacious attempt there from P.T. Martinez to find Jake Mulroney. This is where preseason can often be difficult for a coach, because you want to give guys playing time, but you also want the likes of P.T. Martinez and Joseph and Barco to get 90 minutes under their belt.
I think at this stage, without another game until next Saturday, so you've got a full week, you'll start to get into a regular season kind of feel. You want to let them go here. You want to give them time to kind of fight through the heavy legs at the moment.
Calm play as Remedi skips by the challenge. Robinson.
It's really good for Miles Robinson out to the right to open the field up.
How would you assess Brooks Lennon so far in your first match seeing him in action for Atlanta United?
First 30 minutes was great. It's kind of slowed down after that. Need a little more consistency, and that's probably what you're looking for most players today too. Remedi's in that boat. We've seen some great things from Eric Remedi today, and you've seen some bad turnovers at times. You know, that's what you're working through at the moment. Lennon, I think you want to see him grow a little more confident, a little more selfish on that one chance that we saw on the back post. I would have liked to have seen him hammer that on goal.
So Jeff Laurentowicz, wearing the familiar number 18, into the game. Needs no introduction really at this stage, Jeff Laurentowicz. 448 Major League Soccer appearances. Second only to Kyle Beckerman, who continues to play as well for Real Salt Lake. So for Jeff Laurentowicz, that's a target that may be unrealistic to try and overtake.
Beckerman's not giving that up.
Heading into this season, he's actually the 5th oldest player in Major League Soccer, Laurentowicz. Can you name the players that are older, Jason Longshore? I
Wow.
continue to heap trivia on you.
Wow. That's a tough one. Beckerman is, I believe.
Yeah, there's one. 3 more.
Is Wondolowski.
Wondolowski's 2.
Okay.
You get this. I'm putting the microphone down and walking out of the room.
Well, then I've got to miss this because I need you for another 17 minutes or so. I'd have to think about it. Those are the first 2 that came to mind. There's got to be a goalkeeper in there.
No
goalkeepers. Wow.
We're 2 last year that are gone. Ramondo and
Yeah.
Howard.
All right, we'll come back to that.
Barco attacking the space. P.T. Martinez has the run of Brooks Lennon. There's that chemistry, maybe lack thereof, between P.T. Martinez and Lennon.
Pitti was looking for a different run. Lennon didn't wait it out to see where Pitti was going to lead him with the pass. But we saw that last season with Pitti Martinez. He's a different kind of player. He's a player that it takes a little bit of time to adjust to. You get to where when you see him day in and day out in training, you start to read his movements a little bit. Lennon's still getting to know him. You're going to have moments like that.
Akumu away, straight to Joseph Martinez.
Off Joseph's hand. Felt the same way about that one.
I think Joseph had a point.
Yeah.
I think everyone heard what Joseph had to say.
I'm not going to disagree with him.
Joseph Martinez was a fascinating story last year. An interesting season. 2 goals, as we see a free kick to Atlanta United. 2 goals after the first 7 games. There were question marks about Joseph Martinez. No Miguel Almiron. Can he really do it? And then he goes on to score 27 goals in Major League Soccer.
What a ball from Pitti Martinez.
Barco, low delivery, looking for Martinez. You're right, sensational pass to start the attack. And that's going to be a discussion again this year in many ways. Julian Gressel stepped up with 20 assists in total across the 3 years for Joseph Martinez, no longer with Atlanta United. So who's going to be the guy to feed the Venezuelan Viper next season?
I think it's a combination. I mean, I think Brooks Lennon's obviously going to play into that, being in that role. I think Pitti Martinez with 9 last year, you're going to expect more from him. Ezequiel Barco staying healthy, he's definitely a chance creator. I don't think it's going to be a like for like. I think it's going to be spread out a little bit more. And with the way we've seen this team play today, you're going to see opportunities for Emerson Hyndman, for Eric Remedi to step up and create chances.
82 goals for Joseph Martinez in 92 MLS games, including playoffs. That, folks, has never been done before. Wonderful step from Miles Robinson, fouled as well. You got Beckerman, Wondolowski, 2 more along shore.
Oh, wow. And there's probably people at home who have looked this up already who are yelling answers at us. All right, I got to tap out. Who are they?
Players begin with the same letter, their second name, F. Rod Fanny in Montreal.
Yes.
Still on their roster.
Forgot he came back this year. That's correct.
And Figueroa with Houston.
Oh, yeah. Multiple fouls all over the field. You can take your pick. And that's the second yellow for a substitute. And Dione just came on not that long ago.
Is it Akuma? He's pleading his innocence too.
It's in Dione. He came in up top. I mean, that's nasty. Through the back, and then another one on Barco.
So red card, not what we want to see in preseason, but certainly deserving of that.
No, referees don't want to send guys off because you want to play 11v11. That's why you're here. You're trying to get better. I don't know if even they might let Elfsborg just substitute to play 11v11. Doesn't really do anybody any good to play 11v10 for 12 minutes. But ridiculous challenge on the second one, right through the back of the leg.
So Elfsborg down to 10. Can Atlanta United capitalize?
I think they might actually be substituting a player on, which I would do at this point too. The result doesn't matter. Play 11v11 and play through it. Denise Omet is checking in. Carlson and Homet will play up top.
Towering header. Amazing. Mulroney.
It's a good touch from Mulroney.
So close from Atlanta United, setting Barco free.
Here comes the press, though, from Atlanta.
Numbers committed forward. Barco not reading the Mulroney flick. Elfsborg go the other way with Carlson. Up against Meza. Opportunity to shoot. Campbell looking to intercept. Strong challenge there from George Campbell.
It's great work from George Campbell. It's not by the book. He gets turned around, but he's so quick to get back into position. It's not textbook footwork here, and it's something that you'll work on. But look how quick he recovers there.
Excellent spot.
Doesn't lose his head as he gets spun around.
Ten minutes to play. Corner Elfsborg. Khan off his line. Unconvincing from Alec Khan. Another corner.
Can't seem to lose it. He could have caught that. He had the space to catch. To lose the flight of the ball a bit.
Simon Olsen just hovering at the edge of the area if the ball were to break. Wind playing a real role here as this goes all the way out of play. Not as many substitutions as maybe I expected from Frank de Boer so far.
No, I think you're trying to get that group together and build those moments of chemistry with this team. But now here you see everybody come in. Nice timing, Kevin.
Folks at home will think I saw that coming. I didn't.
So, okay, you want to go through it?
Let's try and make some sense out of all of this. There's Will Riley, just 17 years of age, set to come in, wearing number 27. Alongside him, Mo Adams and Lawrence White. So off-coming, Miles Robinson. I believe Brooks Lennon has made way. Emerson Hyman as well.
Adam John checked in as well.
And Philip Goodrum, I believe, has also made his way into the game wearing 33.
So complete line change. We'll see what the shape looks like. Wyke has gone to the back, we think.
John offloads then for Laurentowicz. George Bello. Silky smooth from Bello. Mulroney. Working hard is Will Riley in midfield.
Very interesting that we're seeing George Bello as a left center back. It's Bello, Campbell, and White as your three center backs. Bello did this a couple times last year in preseason, and you think about Franco Escobar playing center back where he can step into that midfield and make those runs. Bello can do the same from the opposite side.
Goodrum gets across. Philip Goodrum, pick number 75 in the draft. Stephen Glass said making several trips across to Wilmington to see him play in college was a real joy. Loves his attitude and work rate. Lawrence Wyke, very adaptable at the back. He can play right-sided centre-back in that back three as we see right now. Right back in a 4, right wing back in a 5. And that's something that stands to you, Jason. Maybe you could see him going a step further in his career because of that adaptability.
Yeah, I think so. Wyke, Campbell, and Riley were three of the big stories of Atlanta United 2 last season, especially down the stretch under Stephen Glass with a series of great results. Those three guys were the core of that team.
Wonderful offload. Is there a late surge? Lofting cross that you could nearly see sneaking into the side netting on the backside.
After the initial breakdown, though, it's pretty good recovery. You saw Wyke on the back post. Can lets that go. Wyke is a player who came in first as a center back, played some at right back, can play in the holding midfield as well. Honestly, kind of similar to what Fernando Meza gives you, similar to what Anton Walks gives you. Another player who can play anywhere defensively, and that includes the defensive midfield.
Jakob Ondrejka entering now for Elfsborg. Making way, Simon Strand.
Ondrejka is a player that Elfsborg has a lot of high hopes for. 17 years old. He joined them from the 3rd division. 1 goal, 1 assist in 23 matches last year. He made his first appearance for the club in that closed-door friendly against the U.S. men's national team.
Will Riley's an interesting player to keep an eye on, isn't he? 17 years of age, as I mentioned, 2 years to run in high school still. Very calm on the ball, a really intelligent player, it seems, for such a young guy.
And he has a presence on the field, too, and that's something you don't see always from young players. King gets bailed out that time. But Riley doesn't play like a teenager. He has a lot of composure. He's very vocal on the field. That's a trait that you look for in young players.
I went to see a Twos game up in Kennesaw this season, and I was actually going to pay in the $15, and I was taking out my wallet to pay, and I heard, Kevin, I've got an extra ticket, I'll bring you in with me, and it was Tom, Will Riley's father. So thanks again, Tom. Strong challenge from Bello. That will be a free kick to Elfsborg.
Slightly late. He was just tentative enough, and that's where you get the difference between a player who plays in the center primarily, is going to go in strong in the tackle there. Bello's generally looking to play that, get the touch in, and then take off. A little more decisive going in for that challenge.
Translate then. Excellent delivery. So many big bodies in the area. Packed clear. Elfsborg go again.
Good work from Riley, not letting that come in. Good defensive work from a player who usually stands out with his work in possession.
A reminder, this preseason for Elfsborg as well. A few weeks' time they'll take part in their cup before beginning their league campaign in April. And if you're new to the game, you don't really follow world soccer, Swedish league, there are no pushovers. See so many players come to Major League Soccer, and maybe more so, Jason, in the past, a lot of players go across to Scandinavia, and they're seeing that as a step up at the time. Michael Parker has been a good example of that.
Right. It's changed. Now it feels like maybe it's a little bit more of a two-way street. You're seeing some players come here. You're seeing players go in a different part of their career to Scandinavia. I think that's been the biggest change in MLS over these last few years, is it's just part of the mix now with leagues. It's not looked at as a step below Scandinavia. For some players, there's opportunity to play with Elfsborg and other clubs in the Swedish top flight. For others, for some Swedish players, it's a good opportunity to come and play with American teams.
Certainly an area of the world that we've seen Major League Soccer scout into. There's 7 Swedish players currently playing in Major League Soccer. And some guys that have excelled too and really taken the league by storm. You think of Anton Tinnerholm at NYCFC and the impact he's had.
One of the best right backs in the league. Tinnerholm is outstanding.
Big chance to win the game late on, perhaps. Oh, Carlson will regret that.
I believe he might have been offside. No matter, he put that well over the bar. Mo Adams couldn't win the tackle. Bello was pinched in a little too much. No offside. Carlson has to do better.
Final minute of the 90 then. Thank you so much to all of you from wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Sweden or whether it's Dublin, Georgia. It's been great having you. Nice work at the back from White. I wonder, does Jake Mulroney notice it's Dublin, Georgia? You could do a prank on Jake Mulroney. Tell him you're bringing him to Dublin and take him up the road to Dublin, Georgia. See what he has to say.
3 hours away. One of the unluckiest days coaching a youth team in Dublin, Georgia. Hit the bar 4 times in a match. And had 2 own goals.
Out off Bello. Corner kick as we hear the misfortunes of Jason Longshore's coaching career.
I don't want to coach any games in Dublin anymore.
Before we know it, guys, Nashville will be upon us.
For that, Motagua.
Motagua first is right. Away in Honduras. A little bit of hesitation there from Alicante. Stayed on his line.
Good clearance from Bello on the back post.
Carlson goes again. Blocked away as Khan this time collects with certainty.
Putting in a request for the 35-yard shootout to decide this. We celebrate MLS's 25th year. Bring that back.
Why not? Free kick at Atlanta United. Foul on Goodwin. And there is the full-time whistle from Bradenton. Atlanta United won, Elfsborg won. The final score. Lots of positives, lots to dissect as well, Jason. Plenty for Frank de Boer to really think about.
Yeah, there's good and bad from this, and that's what you want, honestly, in a preseason match, because if it's all dominant, you don't have anything to work on. And Frank de Boer needs to work on things to get this team stronger ahead of the Motagua match. You'll get to put some of that into effect next week in Birmingham against Birmingham Legion. We'll take a look back at the highlights and see kind of what stood out here in this one. Jake Mulroney stood out in the second half. I thought he brought some energy into the team, and Pity Martinez and Ezequiel Barco kind of fed off of that.
This was that cutback from Pity Martinez. A little teaser for what's to come from him on his trusty left boot. And then Atlanta United winning the ball back. Joseph Martinez feeding Barco. And that's where I thought he might go first time with the right foot. Instead opts for the left. Well, the ball was dragging a little bit away from him.
He loves to draw the keeper in. Could have pulled that back to the right and done a little more with it. Barco again. That's the one. I think it's a penalty. I think he's got the left arm pulling him down.
This battle in midfield, Pity Martinez wins it. And here you see the dummy that sends Akumu the wrong way. And the right-footed finish, a beauty.
It was a sequence where Atlanta just pinned Elfsborg into their own half. They could not get out of their own half. Ball falls to Pitti Martinez, and that decisive cutback to the right foot, which most people don't expect, Pitti buries it.
Sensational through ball. Elfsborg on the attack, and as it comes all the way back for Carlson, he makes no mistake.
And this is where, for Atlanta United and Frank de Boer, you're going to be looking at why that broke down, how it broke down. Not here because you're trying to recover. You see everybody scrambling. It's how did it get to that point. That's what Frank de Boer is going to sit down with his staff, sit down and do some video work with this team ahead of Birmingham.
So a quick look at what's ahead then for this team. Jason, you'll be involved every step of the way with radio coverage. A trip to Guadalajara, maybe a teaser for Atlanta United. Get used to the climate, get used to conditions.
Used to travel.
Yeah, to travel too, exactly, before you head to the far western side of Honduras to take on Motagua. How would you assess the opponent, the first opponent then in the Champions League?
Motagua's a little different than Herediano last time. They're not coming off of a league title. Motagua was in third last season. They've started their season already. They have lost a couple of pieces. They are building. Wesley Dacus, who played for Atlanta United 2 last year, is at Motagua. It's always tough to go into that building. That's where the U.S. lost to Honduras in 2013, the first qualifier of the Hex that year, and it was very difficult. The grass is thick, it's hot, it's muggy. It's not going to be an easy place to go into, but you should be able to manage it enough to come back in the second leg, take care of business.
We are up and running for 2020. Year 4 of Atlanta United is here already. Can you believe it? And we're thrilled to be bringing you the broadcast both on television and on radio throughout the entire season. But for you, Jason Longshore, for me, Kevin Egan, it's been a pleasure, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. The final score from Bradenton: Atlanta United 1, Elfsborg 1.